what up? It's your girl, Miss Danny. I'm here with Will, Mordecai, and Ellis. We are the Derelict Collective, and this is the Derelict Collective podcast, the live version, episode 2. Technically, this is episode 7? 6? 7? But I guess with all of us here, it's the second one. Are y'all gonna speak? Cause y'all know y'all never speak.
I mean,
I introduce y'all.
I feel like we've created a pattern of us not speaking. So,
right, because we speak when we're spoken to.
And you keep wanting us to step
out. Because I would like for y'all to act like y'all have home training, like y'all.
We don't.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Right.
We're good on that.
What? A bunch of derelicts. Right.
Home training.
All right. So y'all got something to talk about? Because you know we can always talk about my favorite person to talk about.
Do we have to?
Why not?
We don't really want to.
But y'all really want to. We're going to talk about my favorite person to talk about, Kanye.
Yes.
And his unfortunate contract. Which doesn't mean like he can never retire. Can he? Like he has to work until he dies.
That's not what it means at all.
That's what I thought I heard.
No. I mean, well, here's the thing. Kanye actually signed a deal that was kind of standard for an artist of his caliber at that time. I guess his loophole, his trap became that he signed it at a time where the industry was shifting from album sales to digital platforms. And, but yeah, he signed a contract that is going to benefit the label when you kind of look at it. And he kept going around saying he wanted to be signed, he wanted to be signed. He wanted a deal that was going to be, so he could showcase that I'm a rapper as well. And a lot of artists kind of feel that the label's going to sit there and be like, oh yes, we're going to give you everything and more for your dreams to happen. And yeah, they kind of do in a way, but it comes at a cost, later down the line. And now that he is Kanye,
right?
He's looking back at that and like, why did I ever do that?
I think he outsmarted himself. Like like you said, he was running around saying, "I want to be signed. I want to be signed. I want to be signed." He just figured he could keep signing deals and keep getting checks, and it would be cool. A lot of times, I think people don't even think this far into it. For real.
Yeah, a lot of times you're right. You really don't. You kind of feel like, oh, I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 albums off.
Right.
And the label structured the contract to be, if you put XYZ albums out, like this is going to be the structure.
Right.
For us to recoup. And, it's very cash heavy, and which has its benefits, but he's right. He's gone on record saying like Universal won't give him a price so he can buy his masters back because they know he can afford it. And that's absolutely true because that's money for them. Like the labels are structured these days to have the big artists finance the up and coming artists.
Absolutely.
So what does this mean for his contract in the future?
I mean, it's kind of airtight unless they really, really reach a ridiculous number of a buyout to kind of let him out of it.
Or unless, in his mind, I believe
he does
make enough of a fuss.
He does have a leg to stand on as far as creating the conversation. Like, look, the industry's changed.
Right.
We need to renegotiate how deals were done.
Right.
Moving forward. Like, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's just
okay.
He's right now because it's affecting him the way it is.
Right.
We know that's always been the case.
Right.
We know this has always been the case. When he signed his contracts, it was the case.
Yeah.
When he signed people to contracts, it was the case.
Yeah.
It's just he took too long to go back. Because once you make your catalog worth so much money, of course they're not gonna give it back to you. Like it's like Rihanna went back and got hers early.
Right.
Jay did the same thing. They did it at a time where it was like, okay, we know this is gonna be up here, but it's like still here, so you can kind of grab it now. But Kanye might have has one of the best discographies ever.
Amen.
So, God, I hate saying that.
I love it.
But with that being the case, it's gonna sell. It's just gonna sell. It's always gonna sell. Who's selling that?
For him,
why would anybody want to sell it?
For him, it would sell. But how would that work? That contract work for newer artists?
Wait, like today?
Today, like right now, that type of contract for a new artist.
That would burn your career.
Wow.
You wouldn't be able to
I mean,
move.
Yeah, no.
I mean, do you want to eat?
Right.
Like is food essential?
It's like literally worse than a 360.
No.
No.
It's not worse. It's not worse than a 360.
It is a 360 in
Right.
effect.
I mean, because he signed before 360s were a
Standard.
You're right. They were signing based off of album sales.
Mhm.
Okay, like here's your advance, you recoup off of album sales, move forward. You know, that was what his deal was structured on. Now that we've moved into a realm of streaming, where the labels have negotiated all this power for themselves with the streaming companies to recoup, to get their money on the front end, the artists who are signed to these labels kind of put themselves, you know, they have to kind of renegotiate deals a certain way to kind of
Right.
maintain certain streaming revenue.
Right.
Okay, like there's a lot of conversations some artists have said, like I don't need a label. Okay, like he who must not be named put himself in a pretty good situation by not deciding I'm not going to sign with the label and keep most of things for himself. So
He's gonna need it.
So what should new artists look for?
leverage. Everything comes down to leverage.
Which
Right.
they have. They just don't know. Like we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
They like artists don't believe they have the leverage because the label has all the money and whatnot. But it's like, bro, if you're the person people are coming to see, find a way to tell people where to see you at.
All it really
Direct to consumer.
all it really comes down to is like, you know, I really feel like it's more of a patience thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you know, a label comes in and honestly, we do need the labels because they have the plug. They're the ones that can say and be like, okay, cool, tomorrow you're on MTV, tomorrow you're gonna be on all these programs and XYZ.
Right.
And you reach a by far broader spectrum of you trying to do it day in and day out, day in and day out. Okay? You don't need to rush to jump into the pot to be like, yes, I wanna be famous tomorrow. Okay?
And that's why like the way Dipsey did it was like really benefit. Like people can do that.
Grassroots.
Like he did it that way, and then once he had the leverage, then he worked with the label.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to work with him because he was profitable.
Yeah.
You know, so now it's like, yo, man, they come at you different now.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, can we just be a part of what
Yeah,
you're
we
doing?
want to be a part.
Like, can we get a little piece of that?
We want to take what you're doing.
You know,
we want to take what you're doing and then just plug it in the system. And
you, like you said, you knocking on the door saying, hey, can you make me a star? I ain't got shit, but you know.
right, if that's the case, the label's gonna look at you and say, I have to put my time, energy, resources to make you. I own you at that point. I built you to that point, and now I own you. And then 4 or 5 years later, when you're a megastar, like, yes, it's so unfair.
No, you
And
can't.
you're kind of
It's
sitting there, just kind of
right?
like, well,
You're stuck.
What did they say? It costs at least $50,000 to make a record a hit. At least. Think about that. So that just that one
that's
aspect.
what they get.
Like,
I mean, think about it this way. Wiz Khalifa put $300,000 of his own money to make Black and Yellow what it was.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay?
Yep.
So, yeah.
It literally cost it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, recently, I don't know if y'all read it or not, because y'all know I read all things Kanye. They talked about his new personal finance statement, and even though he has this really crappy deal, they say he's worth around $5 billion now. So bad contract or not, it's just, you know, it's good to see him out there flourishing. As Ella said, the best discography ever.
One L.
Like,
The devil
He
is
said
a-
one
It,
of.
it definitely
alive.
is one of the most discussed and talked about and argued.
That's because he's a lunatic. So
And
that, I mean,
lunatic or not, he got some good ass albums. Like regardless, I don't care how you feel about
I'm not saying
Kanye.
he don't.
Let me just say that I don't care how you feel. Don't get me
You
started.
can top five.
Don't get me.
You can top five.
You
with
can
me,
you
like-
absolutely can top five Kanye, but you know.
Top five.
People
Top-
want to
top
smear
five
the lines and they
discographies.
want to talk about their personal feelings about
Fair
Kanye,
enough.
which doesn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with the music, because everybody got at least one Kanye song, and everybody can't say that about their fave.
Everybody has a Jay-Z song. I'm sorry.
Okay, and I don't take away from Jay-Z. He's definitely up there as one of the goats.
Everybody got a Jay
I'm not
song,
arguing,
too.
but
We
I
ain't
don't
talking
get
about that.
behind false gods. So you know,
Right.
I
I feel the same exact way.
I don't
The
get
collective thoughts of the room.
Y'all can pry Kanye out of my dead hands before I cancel him. I will cancel your grandma first.
We gotta pry Kanye out of Kanye's dead hands.
I mean, Kanye is out here flourishing. You know, it just.
Bless his heart. He's trying.
You know what? He does other things very well. Not so much music anymore.
I see how he does that.
His clothes are dope. Just sneakers
Sneakers
are
are dope,
everywhere.
right,
Absolutely. Again, you know, if he was still flourishing musically the way he wanted to, though, he wouldn't be in the middle of nowhere saying, "Look at me, please." So.
He's not really saying that, but you know, Kanye's definitely a goat. I guess it's an argument over whether this person is a goat or not, because they do not have a solo album, yet they are always listed in a top whatever list.
Are we doing niggas lying
And
again?
that's Andre 3000. So what happens if we erase Andre 3000 from the timeline?
If you erase Andre 3000
Exaggeration.
from the
You
timeline,
are ready for this.
the South does not exist.
I knew an
The South
exaggeration
does
was
not
coming.
live.
The South
The South
does not
The
exist.
South does not live. It does
If
not rise.
Diddy doesn't help break the Outkast
Let me finish.
whole system and everything that they did, there's no Atlanta music. There's no Houston music. There's no Midwest music.
You say none.
None. It doesn't. It's not that it doesn't exist. It doesn't flourish. Like, it does not flourish. What Diddy did to help make them marketable gave the South a platform.
Why do y'all say shit like that?
It's the
Like,
truth.
it's like,
It's the truth.
Okay.
It's the truth.
I'm not about to sit here and act like nothing would happen if we didn't get Andre 3000.
Oh,
That would be stupid.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like y'all don't remember things that actually happened because it's not.
Scarface and them still exist. The Houston.
Right. Okay. So
Houston is
so
still
again.
popping.
So it's like okay.
Right.
Where
Right.
Jay
You see how he tried to cut me off though?
Yeah,
I mean,
I see where he
wait.
was going. I see where he was going. I seen the little AI crossover you was about to hit me with.
Yo.
I seen it coming.
I really just
I was
was
gonna
running
catch
straight
it.
down the lane with
No,
that one. Like
and
it
I
wasn't that
stood-
hard.
I stood right in front of you. I'm
Shout
gonna
out to
take the
AI,
charge.
Because
I'm
we are
taking it.
NBA right now, so shout out to AI. I like how you did that. That was good.
3 stacks is very important to the industry. I will never downplay his importance. But you want to keep it all the way 100.
Mhm.
When they started doing their Outkast thing, Big Boy was a star. He was the one carrying that show.
He carried it.
That's tough. It's tough for me to say that Big Boy is carrying.
I tell you
No,
what,
go
Big
on,
Boy
go
got
William.
solo albums,
He does.
I mean,
and they're very good.
Do we show up for those? Do we show up for those? Like we
Sure
should?
did. You go
no,
check
we
the
don't. We
notes
should.
We do not show up for
We
those
do
like
not.
we should.
I mean,
on
should.
He
So-
had a couple hits off.
I'll say
couple
this.
of
I
them.
think, collectively,
Yes.
the two of them, they definitely helped Atlanta shine. Okay? I feel like no matter what, eventually the South's music was going to
Yeah, right. That's what I'm
get to
saying.
the main platform.
Right.
But I think that Outkast definitely has their mark on turning eyes there earlier, sooner than later.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
can
see
definitely say that. Speaker Box Love Below is an all-time great project.
And always will be.
I'm saying, like, it really is. They were on that tip as well, like as far as with the early 2000s and branching out and doing movies and putting up clothing lines.
Yeah,
So is Andre disposable?
I don't say that he's disposable. You know, for the current timeline, I don't say that he's disposable.
I can't say he's disposable.
Right.
Like I said, that's why I started off saying it's not that if he's gone we miss nothing,
Right.
but saying the South wouldn't, like, y'all do realize Luke is a part of the South.
Right.
Like that had nothing to do with Outkast.
Yeah, Little John was on his way to becoming Little
That's what-
John,
like,
regardless of
That was gonna happen.
Outkast or anybody. Okay,
So
that was going to happen.
Do y'all really feel like he deserves top 10?
Nothing.
I mean, it just depends on the spectrum you're looking at.
I'm sorry, nothing.
Are you looking at a?
What top 10 are you putting?
I mean,
Groups? You can put him in the top 10 groups.
I mean, why? I mean, where
But that's
do
a
you?
group.
Okay, it's a group. So as a solo artist, we're saying Andre because we're not saying Outkast. We are saying Andre 3000 because when we have these top lyricists, top rappers, best of, et cetera, when people name their top 3, 5, 10, and they say
Can
Andre.
you go top 10 lyricists?
No.
No. It's pushing it.
Yeah, lyricists.
It's pushing it.
Not from a couple features everybody went crazy
No,
over.
it's pushing it.
Because nobody started saying that until then.
Creative rappers, maybe?
I was about to say,
You
if
put him
you
in
want
the
to say
top
like
five.
if you want to say like
Rappers.
unique rappers,
Yeah.
he's on that list, but I mean outside of that, no.
He
To tell you the
definitely
truth, I can put him in the top 10 influential rappers.
Maybe you could put him there too. I don't disagree with that because a lot of his now that's where you could say his input might skip
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. I think like
Yeah.
as far as creativity, he definitely pushed the envelope as far as like,
Right.
hey, you don't
Right.
need to be
Right.
hard all the time.
Like you
have
don't
to-
get a Young
Right.
Thug and
Yeah.
all these kids that people complain about
Exactly,
now.
right.
You probably don't get them if you don't get Drake.
You can experiment. You can kind of
Right.
step outside
Right.
the box and do
Absolutely.
stuff and like, you know.
So, real quick, I have two things before we get to the next thing. What's like y'all's top Andre verse? Just this, you know, for shits and giggles.
Everybody likes 16 ain't enough, right? Which is a good one. It's a good one. But I think the one that nobody talks about, I actually think is better. Sorry. The one from T.I.'s album.
Right.
That was actually a better verse. I would go that one. He did a remix to Throw Some D's on it, which for Throw Some D's on it was a very like that's when he was really like solidifying what everybody's saying.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I think if you notice, him and Wayne were doing that same kind of thing around that time, and people have like put this stamp on the both of them bigger than what they should be.
During their feature era.
Right. You know, so I mean, top 5 verses though, I don't really have them.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really tough to kind of say.
Yeah, like
So y'all really don't. I mean, I just was asking for your favorite Andre verse.
I have like
it didn't have to be a great.
my favorite
I
Andre
mean,
verse.
right.
Oh, International Players Anthem.
yeah, I was gonna say that one as
That's
well.
right,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that was my favorite Andre because it was all of Andre in one
Right.
song.
Right.
Like I can't think of the name of it, but there's a song on Stankonia with Erykah Badu.
Not Humble Mumble.
Yes, it is.
Humble. Okay. All right.
That's one of my favorite Andre verses.
I'm thinking about Liberation.
Okay.
When you said Erykah Badu.
Bombs Over Baghdad too.
Yeah, but I was
Like low key,
definitely, yeah.
like if you listen to Drake,
Absolutely.
he was killing that shit.
Absolutely.
One of the most underrated Andre 3000 verses was Deuces by Chris Brown remix.
That is
I
a
did
good
not
one.
like it.
I loved it.
Did not
I
like it.
loved
Did not
that
like it.
verse.
I'm not mad at that.
It
When
didn't
he
work
started
for me.
rapping about Confucius, I was like, that was
It like
that
halfway
was
through his verse, I'm like, so when are we gonna get started?
Oh,
Oh
come
my
on.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's-
So basically,
disrespect.
our number one complaint when it comes to Andre is that he does not give us enough music. We're constantly waiting for music. And someone else who has that same issue,
One of his children.
one of his sons,
I mean, you're not wrong.
yo, Kendrick, this
Oh,
whole
you're not about to
TDE
do-
situation, like, where's the music? Like,
Alright,
Tell us
so
how you feel.
so TDE does their own thing. They have always done their own thing. I don't know why all of a sudden y'all want to wake up and do them and expect them to do something they never do. They are weird.
They're not giving you anything.
Top is weird. Punch is weird. Them dudes, they think differently. Which is why if you look at their roster, it's full of people who aren't conventional.
When it comes out, have you ever seen the movie National Treasure?
Yeah.
When you just like looking for hints and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
oh my God.
You
That's
said
how-
that was scavenger hunt?
That's how you try to figure out what
That's
the
how you
fuck
get a
TDE
Kendrick
is.
release? You
What
gonna
the fuck is
get
this? Like, what are you doing?
But
Are you releasing an album? What's in this video? Do I have to decipher this?
Yo,
Like, is this a cryptic puzzle?
Bro.
Like, what is this?
Right.
it works though. Like, let them do what they do. Like,
It does.
look at, we like all their artists, even the ones we don't like. We like.
That's true.
Like, so it's like
you like them.
see, people's making a big deal about SZA. oh, she doesn't want to be there. This, that, that. She said the same thing last time to get her album released. It came out, and she didn't say the words hits.
Please step in.
Oh no,
Please,
not at all.
please step in.
No.
Please,
No.
Yes, gone.
I'm
please
just
pour
saying,
some water
man,
on
leave
this pie.
TDE alone.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna let them just do what they do
Yeah.
because
That's
clearly it works.
it works. That's what I don't understand. Like, how are y'all complaining about some shit that works?
That's just
What
it.
is that video?
It could work better,
What
possibly.
did Kendrick?
But
You know what it is?
The weird video.
What?
Stop trying. Like, who cares what it is? Like, again,
Oh.
we did a whole thing last week where we talked about like, yes, this happened, but who gives a fuck? You're gonna like you're
That's
good.
so
Like
disrespectful.
you're gonna get music. You're gonna forget this happened. So why are we doing this?
That's true.
I mean,
Y'all do this shit every 4 years with TV.
They do this to us.
I mean,
No.
don't we do elections every 4
Okay,
years?
y'all
Some
said
days we just
y'all
do
really
every 4
need. You
years.
know
I
what?
mean,
Y'all need a hug from TV
Right.
to get this for this
I'm saying.
wow.
you know, because you always have the options. Just
I wouldn't mind a hug.
you want a hug from Punch?
Punch and
tell
TV.
Punch you want.
I would love a hug.
Jeez.
He needs
I would
hugs.
love a hug.
He needs all the hugs.
This is stress. I am stressed.
Why are you stressed?
Give me a goddamn Kendrick album. Give me a goddamn SZA album. I need content.
Where are the albums?
Wait, top out. I really want to go to LA soon. Can you not?
I'm gonna stop.
Are you okay?
Yes. All right.
He just really wants the albums. Right. All right. All right. So,
I'm scared. Though.
males, new albums, artists. Have we gotten anything from any male artists? Like, especially like, I don't know, like male R&B artists.
Up and coming right now, this kid out of London, Giveon. I love the content that he's giving us right now.
Word.
Yeah, but still, that's not what she's asking. Like, that's not really what's in the question, because we're talking about like stars. Like, men in R&B suck right now.
Oh my god.
And I'm not to say that there are no male R&B artists that I like,
Right.
but none of them are stars. They make very good music. I like a lot of them, but like when you look at the stars and you think R&B, you think women.
right.
Off the top of my head, I think of like 9 women before I get to the first guy.
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons. Actually, me and my boy, our adopted derelict here, had some opinions
Shout out to Reggie.
The derelict.
Jesus.
on that. So we want
Triple entendre.
to
Don't
get
even
his
ask me
opinion
how.
on it as well.
He's like the Green Ranger there.
Right. Right. We're gonna.
Stomach.
What's up, Reggie?
What's going on?
Thanks for joining us finally. Super excited to get you in front of the camera. I know that you have so much love to share.
Hey Reggie.
You had a lot of positive feedback that
We're
you want to
recording.
give.
Yeah, I know we're recording now.
So, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so
Suck at MCs.
can you please not show out? Can you please elaborate?
Okay.
All right. So you came here to chop it up with us about the male R&B situation.
Yeah, man.
I mean, is it because you be singing sometimes too?
Ooh,
No, see that's what I'm You been saying you don't cut up.
ooh, no.
Oh,
That's
no,
the
no,
end
no,
of this
no.
episode.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart. He did not do
So
that.
what was real quick though? What was the conversation we were having just yesterday?
Alright,
And
so-
you kind of triggered me.
Oh, great. I like
I
this.
feel like that happened like 7 times yesterday.
I
So
appreciate
I
that.
can't pin it down, but I can tell you why.
Tell me why I'm mad, son.
I can tell you why I'm mad and why R&B singers, like male R&B singers, aren't like really popular.
Right.
It's because they can't decide whether they want to be thugs
Word.
or they want to make love.
Word.
They want to be thugs and make love, and I think women are kind of like getting off of that. I think that's partially toxic.
Do thugs need love too?
Thugs do need love too, but I think women are requiring more from us right now. So I just
I see what
honestly,
you did there.
They
I
are.
see.
I'm not mad at
they
that.
are requiring more from
So
us.
the
it's
king
like,
of R&B,
Yes.
Usher and Raymond.
Wait, who's the king?
Bobby Brown,
Yes.
I was, yeah.
Yes.
father loving.
Right. I was about to go there.
Yes.
Like Jodeci. Like, what do you
Yes.
mean? Like,
But is that air like played out? Did Jaheim like just suck the last of that dry and down?
Have you seen him?
Why are
I
we
think
talking
he sucked
about
him
that?
dry. That did look like a raisin.
He does look like
You ain't like
a red raisin. That's so right. Come on,
If you
man.
ain't cheap,
Come on, man. You made that song for the kids.
Right.
Like, why are y'all doing that?
But yeah,
Y'all
I
don't
mean,
care about the kids.
It's like a fine dance that you got to do, right? And I think the R&B dudes are too busy suing and crib walking right now.
Are you talking about Chris Brown? Because I feel like you talking about Chris
He's
Brown.
not the only one.
I was just.
He's
Why
not
don't
the
you just
only
come
one.
out and say Chris Brown?
He's not the no. And I think Brown is probably on my list of male vocalists, pop artists right now. Because I'm pretty sure there are tons of male artists like that aren't mainstream that vocally are disgusting, right? But right now I think Brown is like my top 2, with Usher Raymond being number 1. Usher Raymond is the greatest male performer of my generation.
I'm sorry, what?
Usher Raymond, Usher, Lucretius, Let It Burn, Raymond Jr. is the greatest male entertainer, singer.
Michael Jackson.
Michael, I think
The devil is a
no, hold on.
lie.
I don't think you understand how old I am.
He said his era.
Yeah.
Wait.
Michael Jackson.
That would be my era.
It's our parents' era. That's not our era.
No, he transitioned.
I'm gonna go.
He got too much shit off in our
He
era.
transitioned.
No, he got shit off in that era. But I'm
Lots.
talking about people we grew up with.
I grew up with Michael Jackson.
We didn't grow up with Thriller.
No.
No, what he means is like being a certain age at
Oh,
the
you mean
release
like a
of the
teenager?
album.
Like,
Like when you
like-
could,
Oh,
when you
like
could,
when
like
it
you made
counts.
your own decision.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
but-
when it counts.
Like you wasn't outside when
Yeah,
the
you
song
wasn't
came
outside
out.
when
Like
Michael
that's what.
Jackson- yeah.
Hold on, y'all, because y'all got riled up at that Michael Jackson thing.
No.
So-
I'm talking
You
about.
just say
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. But you gotta understand, like Michael Jackson is multi-generational, but we didn't come up.
No, you're right.
Us and
He's
Brown are
fair
like
enough.
the same,
He's
close to
very
the same
fair.
age.
So I
That's
used
what I'm
to
saying.
agree with you, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about. Remember we was talking about doing like a versus for Chris Brown and Usher,
You can't.
and I was again.
Although
I was on your side.
Go ahead.
So I was like, yeah, Usher go smoke. Then I'm like,
Mm.
I was going through Chris Brown's catalog, and while I might not like go to his albums all the time,
Yeah.
he mastered singles.
No,
So like, I literally, he doesn't have a bad one.
No, I will tell you that. Like I will die on the Usher Raymond Jr. hill, but with also acknowledging that Fame alone is a 12-year-old album with 10 singles on it.
Right.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he,
Right? It's just my personal
He
preference.
don't miss.
It's my personal
He
preference.
don't.
It's my personal. I just remember like where I was at when Usher was singing with Monica, and I felt like that was me, and possibly could
But
be somebody
we've
else.
seen,
You feel
the
what I'm
thing
saying?
is, I was on your side, but we've seen Usher miss too many times.
No. We have.
Like,
we
that-
have.
that's kinda,
I'm
you
just
know.
saying it's a hill that I'm willing to die on.
I mean, we all have our hills, and we know that Trey
Oh,
Songz was
God.
my hill.
No.
Well, that hill is dead hill.
That is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
hill.
Like,
Then you
What?
might as well just exhale yourself.
But, okay, right, thank you.
Go ahead and
But
break
we,
it
but we
away.
had a conversation yesterday, and
Uh-huh.
again, since we are in the great Commonwealth of Virginia,
That's okay.
God, they can do anything to you here.
y'all came here at your own risk. Welcome.
And not once did I play a Trey song on the ride down.
That's your fault.
Trey Songz don't listen to Trey
I mean,
Songz.
but you rode down here with William. I don't think that you needed to
You
play
do realize
Trey
there's a
Songz.
No, we played
So,
Fame.
hold on.
We played
So,
Fame.
hold on.
There's a generation of children right now who don't even know who the fuck Joe is, and was like, bring him
That
back
is what I'm
when they got Trey Songz.
Yeah.
They was like, bring back the old dude.
Yeah.
This was
Like-
this was the conversation.
They say
So
it's a
we-
big rich town.
So we talked about the
Yeah,
top
not talking
3
about
male Virginia singers
Ooh.
because Virginia does have
You
them.
gonna make me do
And
something?
this, yeah, and because we had this conversation, and I wanted to have
This
this
is a
conversation
terrible
with you
conversation.
two.
One at a time.
I wanted to have a conversation with you two
This is about to be
because
bad.
you all switched and you were opposite. So I'm not gonna argue that between Trey Songz, Chris Brown, and D'Angelo, I'm not gonna argue Tremaine's place in that. I'm
don't
not.
have one, yes.
I'm not. However, you two had different sides on where you put D'Angelo.
Oh, because D'Angelo's number 1.
And this
And the 3 of them I'm gonna say Brown is number one.
All right.
Content wise?
So that's what I'm about. When you say number one,
And that's
what are you
okay.
speaking of?
So I don't know if people remember one, and if you put D'Angelo's top 5 years against Brown's top 5 years,
You can't do it though.
why not?
Because D'Angelo is not that kind. You're talking about the guy who Questlove refers to as R&B Jesus.
Yeah.
That dude gave us 3 albums in 40 years.
Because really, can we say that Chris is kind of poppy?
It ain't this.
Chris was poppy for a long time.
You know what
Chris
D'Angelo
was-
is?
He was.
He's Lauryn Hill that did it more than once.
Oh shit. Holy shit.
Think about how people feel about that one
Holy
album,
shit.
and that's how people feel about all of D'Angelo's catalog.
Okay.
I mean, listen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a Basquiat painter.
Right. So you can't judge him off of Chris Brown, who just goes to the gym and just puts him up. He's like J.R. Smith, but better.
So long.
I'll take the JR.
Thank you. So
Shout out to Swish.
basically, we're gonna
Would
put
you feel better
D'Angelo
if I
at
said
top where he
Jamal
belongs
Crawford?
amongst the Commonwealth of Virginia and their male R&B singers. D'Angelo is at the top, and I just need you to understand that you came here to the Commonwealth to learn that we're teaching you right now.
Put it this way, D'Angelo's in like this layer, off in like this random place that nobody can get to.
A realm, his
And
own realm.
he walks down the stairs and then people are like, oh my God, that's him.
Well,
That nigga lives in
I don't want to
Narnia.
come off and
Right.
say like,
With a tub of shea butter.
He is a mythical nigga.
I get that.
Mythical niggas. I love it.
I definitely get that. I guess you could put 3,000 in the same category of mythical niggas.
Well, no, because D'Angelo has his own albums that are his albums that are just
Yo,
his.
The Love Below and Speaker Box are 2 independent albums.
Right.
That just
So that
packaged
was
together.
And he
only
barely rapped
They
on
packaged
the
it.
Love Below.
And that still just is one, and D'Angelo has more than that.
Yes. And he got live albums by himself. He does concerts by himself.
So
Take your time.
D'Angelo is.
You can come on around.
It's Devil's Pie.
We are here for you.
No, I fuck with D'Angelo.
We are here.
Hard. But I'm just saying.
I know what you get at.
D'Angelo has a place, right? Like, if I want to, like, put it this way. Brown's catalog is a roller coaster. Right?
Yeah.
For any situation, up, down, in between, you can find a Brown record.
That is true.
For D'Angelo, it's a monolithical catalog.
Now now you cannot play D'Angelo everywhere. You
This is
cannot
what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
He's
You can't
not.
get him off everywhere.
He's not for that. He's not for that. Okay, but as far as actual singing,
Well,
who-
as human beings, we're not a monolith. We got ups, downs, and in betweens. So I prefer my artists to kind of represent how I'm living. How does it feel?
bro, I don't
Yeah.
like how you leaned on me and just leave that like,
Because you try to hit me when you come to the comic.
I just want to say,
I don't like how
like,
you just did that.
yeah.
But you know,
I
I
just all over that.
but I mean, D'Angelo can sing better than Chris Brown.
I will give you that.
That's all I can
I
say.
will give you that.
D'Angelo. Okay, you know who I compare D'Angelo to? Like, maybe on a little lesser scale, but Prince.
What?
Like, I think people look at D'Angelo like D'Angelo people look at D'Angelo the way Prince people look at Prince.
That's yeah.
I mean, think about it. What's the thing people say about Prince? He wrote all the music. He plays all the instruments.
Yeah.
What do D'Angelo fans say? He wrote all the music. He played all the instruments.
His greatness.
There are other artists that also do the same. Or have
Not as well though.
Stevie Wonder music in my mind.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, you
Hold up,
said,
hold up.
wait.
I'm just saying.
You're not making your point by going higher. Like that's not
But,
like he
Listen, you
was
have
like
to that.
he put Jesus on the table. It's like yeah.
I'm just saying.
Look how high you have to go.
We were down in the Moses scale. Like we was down here. You
I
want
mean, okay, man, I pulled Stevie card.
You
And
did.
it is unconfirmed in 2020 whether he is really blind.
Don't. Yo.
But
Don't
Shaq
start
didn't say that.
Don't
I mean,
Censor
that
it.
listen,
Don't.
Shaq said it.
Stamp.
Shaq is the one that told that story.
Don't.
well, I appreciate y'all having me. Brown is
He's
you know,
something else.
He's a beast. Usher is God.
Can you please?
And I mean, everybody else, I guess, kind of falls in.
Guys don't miss them.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you, Reggie, for wearing us out. Thank you so much. Our lives are forever changed.
What did I miss?
Nothing too much. Nothing too much at all.
It was an intervention.
Your homeboy came through and started upsetting me and my homeboys, and you know.
So the usual.
Right. So.
That's all y'all do around here.
There's a lot of blasphemy. There's a whole lot of blasphemy.
Ooh. All right. So we talked about R&B and things like that, and singers and whatnot. So where are we putting like Justin Timberlake?
Oh,
like.
All right. So we doing this.
Go ahead, Alice. Tell us
Doing this.
Tell us how you feel.
Okay, are we talking just as far as singers or just
This is
what?
a trap, Will.
As far as what?
This is meant.
No, that's why I
Yes.
want to.
This is meant to make me look bad because that's like the running thing these days on the show.
It's very easy and fun.
Because they know that I'm going to tell the truth.
Oh boy.
Which is going to have people saying that I'm giving credit where credit should not be given.
Okay.
Justin Timberlake's catalog is, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a catalog to go against it. Like, why are we upset that he made good music?
Right.
Like, it's like, he made good music. He's white. So what?
Yes.
Black people wrote those songs for him.
Yes.
He all the time came in the room after the black people because he knew he wasn't on their level. So like, let him have it. But his catalog is great. You can't deny it.
I don't get the whole culture appropriation thing with Justin Timberlake when he surrounds himself with nothing but black people.
Right.
And not in a supportive capacity. Not in a capacity where
He gives them
let
the
me-
shine as well.
Right. Like it's not like
actually-
he's dragging along these black people saying, look at my blacks.
Right.
Like he's going to seek out blacks that he know are bigger than him
Yeah.
and asking them to help him. And then saying, yeah, this is good because of him.
Absolutely.
As
And
he's
then-
standing on a record between Jay-Z and Timberlake. Like,
Right. That
He-
then helps
he
boost
gives
those
his flowers
people's
to-
careers.
He gives flowers to the peoples around him.
Great.
All the time. All the time. And to call him a cultural vulture or whatever,
A culture vulture?
culture vulture, whatever, culture appropriation, it's wrong.
Okay, so I think a lot of it too stems from when the whole Janet thing happened. And how that was handled, and it left a taste in people's mouths. So, are we saying that we should forgive him? We should let it go because we don't love how that was handled. We don't love how he handled it.
No, we
I
don't.
mean,
But how long are you going to hold on to that?
I mean, let's to be kind of fair. I think that's just more respect to the systemic side of
Right.
society than it does
Right.
anything else.
Absolutely. It
You know?
wasn't, I mean, we know what he did. He ran. The shit got hot and he ran.
Right.
His people advised him to run. He ran.
Yeah.
Now, if he was out there and had took that thing and flipped it on Janet,
Right,
that
yes.
would be different.
That would be different. Right. That's not what he did.
What he did was he protected his own ass.
Yeah.
You could say it was a bitch move. You could say that. But I mean, after that,
So
it
you
don't
say-
have nothing to do with his catalog.
It just already did. Like they, honestly, I think today no one really penalizes Janet for it anymore.
No,
Right.
right.
I just think that it just at the time it took longer for it to blow over for Janet than it did for Justin.
Yeah, they came down hard on Janet.
Right.
It was,
And that
we'll,
was-
we'll
I
never
think that
invite
was
her back. Like
More
you
the
know.
issue. But I mean,
So, what about like Eminem? Do we feel like he's a culture vulture?
No.
I don't know how like really because I kind of feel, you know, Dre put M on, and M's raps like M's really rapping to his people. M's really doing like more trailer park
Right.
raps,
Right.
and he's not doing project raps.
Right.
He's not.
You know, but clearly the strategy worked because there was a market that
Right,
he was
yeah.
talking to that clearly said yes, he's talking about things that I
Yellow
do.
Wolf.
Right.
Yellow Wolf's rapping about tractors and shit.
Yeah.
Like how is that appropriate? That's not
Yeah.
y'all niggas ain't riding around in tractors.
Right.
It's like so it's like you gotta look at the content. It's like now Miley is one who I think did because
Yes.
Miley hasn't given anything to the culture
At all.
and she's rapping at us
And she
because her people don't want to hear that shit from her.
Not at all.
So she jumps in and out whenever she feels like it, and literally does nothing for the culture.
She's a fucking colonizer.
That's
She's a
that's a
fucking
good example.
colonizer.
Oh,
And I like her music,
Me
but
too.
she absolutely she knows she doing.
Yeah.
She knows she doing.
Mordecai, because you're an Eminem fan.
Yes, I am.
So tell us more like why he's not a culture vulture, because you actually listen to him.
That's his culture. Trailer park music is his culture. Talking shitty things about your mom and your children and people around you is his culture.
It is though.
It's
I
his
mean-
culture.
Absolutely.
So how's he culture vulturing his own culture?
That's true. Like I never ever thought about that, but
Right. All he's doing
yeah,
is rapping.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
it.
Yeah.
that's very much his lane. All right, so what about Bruno Mars? This one really caused some static the other day in the group. Is Bruno Mars a culture vulture?
Is he brown?
So not only is he brown, he has multiple times given respect, paid homage, and said he would not be who he is or where he is without black people, black music, black culture.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm okay with you being self-aware. Like honestly,
Right.
like I don't think he's a culture vulture.
He's a culture vulture because he made a New Jack Swing record.
No.
When nobody else was making them at the time.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like he
The
and,
lane
and
was wide
again,
open.
Right.
what's
That's
the
more so-
content? What's the content of the song? It's a record for everybody to listen to.
Yes.
Like people act like Bruno walked in. It was like I created New Jack Swing.
Right, right.
No.
I've seen some people say it's because he stole Trinidad James' flow, but I
He
believe
paid him for
I was
that.
about to say, didn't Trinidad give him blessings and he received his coin for that?
Yeah.
Right.
So-
again, it's just kind of
Have we
like
not seen this before?
Trinidad will be paid for the rest of his life
Right.
because of it.
I mean, so as long as you're getting paid for it, I don't really think that we can consider it stealing. So
no. That's
Bruno
called
is
being.
not
That's
a
called.
culture
That's
vulture.
how it
bought
works. Our services are for sale.
Right.
Like
pay me my word, pay me for my time.
Yeah.
So
If I paint something and you come in and buy it, and then somebody else says, "Oh, you stole Will's painting," no, she bought it.
right, like
That
shit,
was
man.
bought.
right, like this, you literally.
How
So
dare you hang that in your living room? Okay.
what about Jennifer Lopez? Is she a culture vulture?
No. Once again,
But she's from the Bronx. so-
she
There was
literally
all
came
kinds
up
of
in the
information
culture.
about a
Absolutely.
person
Yes.
being
Right.
from the Bronx. All
The
right.
culture put her on.
I mean, as unfortunate as that is,
Damn.
I'm just saying.
It's
You know what?
unfortunate to
You know
be
what?
from the Bronx.
As unfortunate
Whoa, all right.
Jesus.
as that is, and I know all the dead ass in the room is raising up right
Whoa.
now. You know, so
God.
Wow,
as
wow,
unfortunate
wow.
as that can be,
Timberland boots flying
It's
everywhere.
Wow. Okay.
holy Timberlands,
Okay.
Batman.
There's a line.
Word.
There's a line that
Word.
has been drawn.
You're right,
Um,
you're right.
no
I'm
doubt.
sorry.
You know.
My
No
bad.
doubt.
I got off track.
She will
Check
just
for you
beloved.
It
Right,
happens. It just
right.
comes out sometimes.
I'm not-
It's just- But I mean, no. J-Lo, not only did J-Lo grow up in the culture, but again, she took no responsibility for the things in the culture. Nobody's standing up in hip hop saying, "Oh, J-Lo's the one that did that." We all realized you were a guest here. She was a guest.
I think she acknowledges
She
that.
was invited in.
Right.
She came in, she stayed for a while, and she went back where the fuck she belonged at. That is not being a culture vulture.
Is it? Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there we go.
Absolutely.
She's
Yeah.
an industry
Her name
culture
alone
vulture.
lets you know what.
She's a big time.
She's an Italian woman with a Spanish name with black gel down edges.
Okay, but you know Italian and Spanish is like basically the same thing. Okay.
Is it?
As far as the languages,
Is
yes. As far as
it?
the
All
language,
kinds of hurtful.
there's lots of words that are the same in Italian and Spanish. But you go on. You were on par for everything else. I just-
Meatballs and tacos aren't the same, so.
That's true. That's true.
Do I have to explain that tacos is a Aztec
No,
Mexican?
I
dish?
know,
Not
but I
Spanish?
got where he was
Reel it
going
in.
with that.
Reel it
I
in.
got it.
Reel it in. That's
Meatballs
That's just me?
are not
Was that just
tacos.
me? All right, cool.
Reel it in.
Cool.
Right, thanks. Okay, so yes, a culture vulture.
Yeah.
Not because of this. Yes, because just looking at her timeline and just looking at her like 10 years ago.
She doesn't have an identity, to be honest.
And then like
she does now.
She's almost like she's straight up blackfishing.
Yeah.
Like she's almost straight up blackfishing.
She reminds me of the Kardashians, and the biggest part of that is like they're friends with what's that twin girl from ATL?
Oh,
I can't think of her name.
the twins.
Wait, which?
You talking about Courtney's best friend?
Yes.
Not Courtney, Chloe.
Yeah. So
Malika's, the
right.
Malikas. Mm-hmm.
Ariana's best friend is Victoria Monet. I'm sure some people won't be familiar with who she is.
Right.
But she is a very talented black
beast.
artist.
She is a beast.
Songwriter, singer,
amazing
all of
project
it.
out this year.
So when you hear Ariana, you are getting a lot of that.
Right.
And that's why she believes she's not.
Question on her being a culture vulture. Who put her in the space for her to be even considered a culture vulture?
She forced her way in. That's why she's a culture vulture.
Scooter Braun is responsible for all this.
No.
I mean, ain't that what Scooter does?
Who the fuck told Scooter he was invited?
Money.
Money does a lot.
Money gets you in a lot of doors the keys won't.
All right.
If my timeline right, so it was Iggy who first kind of brought Ariana in.
Yeah.
And so Iggy was already,
and she was
yes, absolutely, culture vulture.
Yes.
You know, just saying, I'm gonna do this just to get famous and rich, and that's all I.
She kind of admitted to it too.
I mean,
I wouldn't even that bad. I let her off the hook for it because she was like, that's what it is.
Be self-aware. Do not
this
lie.
is what I'm here for, people.
Right. I was like, all right, go get your money.
Right.
So when Ariana came in underneath that, we're like, oh, okay, cool. You're an artist.
Right.
And it was kind of like she was on this wavelength of being that. And I don't think she necessarily wanted to be there. It's just kind of like this is the way that she's on until she can kind of. Yeah. Oh no, I was really gonna.
Yeah.
No. All right. Last one. Robin Thicke.
No.
Mm.
No. Even though he changed his image from what he used to be, where's the blackness in what he did?
Okay, no, he was in there. Let's not. I mean, the way he sings and the songs he chooses to sing.
Okay, was he like sitting at the pool, like with his feet in the water, like just like swinging? Like he didn't dip like his whole body into the water. Like he was just like.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't his first really big thing he did on the Carter tour? Or did that come?
Shooter?
Or did that come after?
No, that was after.
That was like when he was. It was what is it? Not Lost Without You, is it?
No, Lost Without You was mush. Yeah,
so what was the first little crossover one? When I Get You Alone.
When I Get You Alone.
I don't remember.
Is that the one where he was riding through the streets on the bike?
I don't remember that.
That is so.
That's the long hair.
And that's
long
why people say he is, because if you look at that dude and you look at this dude, it's like when the white boys go out and they get the black haircut. So like that's kind of what
he had a mommy makeover.
He still had long hair in that video.
Yeah, he.
So, but this was his first like crossover to. I don't remember that song, y'all.
A lot of us don't. We went back on it. It wasn't that big at the time.
Can someone sing it for me?
No.
I would rather not because it's terrible.
I didn't know. Any volunteers in the back?
It is a very bad song.
I don't remember the song at all.
I'm sure Reggie can hit a note.
Mr. R&B, can you Oh, okay, right.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's not my Robin Thicke joint.
I don't have enough evidence to say he is or isn't. I'm stuck.
Right.
I don't feel like he forces his lane.
Right, but I feel like that's his game though.
I feel like game?
It's like he's like, if I just stay near black people, then I'll get it. Like I think he kind of took that approach. Maybe he didn't just jump off the bridge.
So he's 12th man on the Bulls. Get the
right. Like he's like Brian Scalabrine for black people.
Woo! Yo,
What was his
nobody
nickname? The
knows,
White
y'all.
Mamba?
The White
White Mamba.
That's his story.
Oh,
That
God.
shit was so colors up there.
And then Paula left him, and it took all the black he had left.
I ain't got none left.
And he put it all in that one album that we did not show up for.
God.
Oh, man.
Lord.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, I'm done with y'all.
Ah.
I'm cutting y'all off.
That hurts.
We really appreciate y'all for checking us out. We are everywhere. Facebook, Twitter. I was about to say MySpace, y'all. Like, what year is this?
Wow.
I know, right?
Click the link and subscribe.
Like YouTube. Yes, please. We are the Derelict Collective. We thank you for watching.
Peace.
You ain't gotta go home, but you know the rest. I'm done with y'all.